The main point I'm going to be making today is that if you really want to know what you believe in, don't listen to your thoughts or feel your feelings. You've got to watch your behavior. And this is actually a great way to understand other people's beliefs as well, better than they themselves understand them. Here's the amazing thing that we see with Google and Facebook algorithms, the artificial intelligence that's constantly monitoring us. It's getting to the point, like Yuval Harari says, where it knows us better than we know ourselves. Because it's not clouded by our minds, it only watches our behavior. And it knows from our behavior what we truly want and desire and believe. And that's why the ads you see on Facebook are so well tuned to you most of the time, because Facebook knows you or is getting to know you probably better than you know yourself. This is only the beginning. It's only going to get far more extreme, to the point of I'm actually scared that we'll become slaves to the internet as it gets to know us better than ourselves and can learn to control our minds. One of the reasons I wanted to bring this up today is an interesting point I saw in a comedy sketch by Doug Stanhope about religion. And this video is not a dig at religion. It's just a point I'm trying to make. Where he says, if you believe that God has a master plan that can't be changed, and that when you die, you're going to a place of eternal bliss where you'll be with your family and your friends for all time, and there'll be no suffering and everything will be awesome, why do you wear a seatbelt? And I think that's one of the best questions somebody's ever asked. It's not really a question about religion, it's a question about our beliefs. Why is it that we engage in behaviors that contradict the beliefs that we think we have? Think about how often you've thought of yourself as a nice person, as a lovely person. Oh, I'm the kindest person. And then you do something unkind. You take revenge on someone. You cut someone off in traffic. You steal an opportunity away from someone. You hurt someone deliberately. How do you explain that behavior if the belief is that you're a kind person? How do you explain that contradictory behavior? If you really believe that God's master plan cannot be changed, that there's nothing you can do to save yourself, it's all up to God, why bother wearing a seatbelt? This is the kind of thing that we need to face, because if ultimately philosophy is love of wisdom, and self-development is a philosophy of yourself, it's learning to know yourself so that you can love yourself. You can't love a false representation of yourself and hope to end up being a truly confident person of integrity. First, you have to know what you really are. And the way to know that is to know what your real beliefs are. And the way to know that is to watch your behavior and work backwards from that to figure out what the belief must be. For example, if I believe that I want to be a healthy person and that I want to be in good shape and take good care of myself, and yet I constantly see evidence of myself eating unhealthy foods, avoiding exercise, taking drugs like alcohol, what is my real belief? If we were to say that my behavior is the only true evidence, what must the belief be? It can't be that I want to be healthy. Or maybe I do want it, but it can't be that that's what I'm actually going to do, because I'm not doing it. So what is the belief? Well, if I was to see someone behaving in that way, and it wasn't me, I wasn't attached to the thoughts and feelings they have, I could only watch them, I'd have to say that person prefers instant gratification and feeling good right now over being healthy, because they constantly make decisions that line up with that. The person prefers to be drunk than healthy. They prefer to feel the satisfaction of a stomach full of sugar than be healthy. They prefer to be inert and lazy than be physically fit. The behavior says it all. At least in this moment. That's not to say they don't have conflicting beliefs that go back and forth as to what they want at any given time. Sometimes they exercise, sometimes they don't. So there's clear evidence of conflicting beliefs fighting against each other. But the only way we'll know what those beliefs are is to watch the behavior, to watch the conflict play out in actions. So if you're trying to get to know yourself, one of the biggest difficulties is going to be believing your thoughts about what you believe, or even worse, thinking that you choose your beliefs. I want you to try something, and please, nobody sue me for making this suggestion. This is totally up to you. I accept no liability. I want you to choose not to believe in gravity. Go ahead, choose not to believe in gravity. Choose to believe instead that you can fly like an angel. Go ahead, choose that belief. If you can choose beliefs, go ahead, choose that belief, and then go jump off a high roof. Go for it. If you can choose your beliefs, you should have no problem adjusting your belief in gravity to a belief that you can fly like an angel and go jump off a roof. I feel quite safe in knowing that nobody watching this video is going to do it. And if they are, they were always going to do it anyway. This video won't make a difference. Because like the person putting on the seatbelt, no matter what you tell yourself you believe, you can't really choose a belief. It chooses you. You either believe something or you don't. I can tell myself all day long, I believe in Santa Claus. Santa Claus is real. But it's never going to be true. I don't. I can't. It's like how some people, I've had it a few times in my life, they've questioned what I believe in. You know, why don't you believe in this? Why do you believe in that? And the truth is, I don't know. I can't give them an answer. I mean, I can give them a story that I have in my head explaining my beliefs to myself. But the fact is, I don't really know where the sort of compelling evidence or case is being made for me to form these beliefs. You can see it in social rules more than anything else. You know, if someone tells you that something is rude, why do you believe that? They'll tell you a big story. Well, it's rude because this, and this. But the truth is they don't know. The truth is it's their culture that they were raised in and the family rules and ethics they were brought up with that were all subtle and indirect, but had a huge influence on them. A lot of what you believe, not only is it contradicted by your behavior, but you don't know where it came from. You can come up with an explanation, but that doesn't make it true. What I'm suggesting essentially is to go back and start with your behaviors and figure out who you are from what you do. What's your behavior and go, what are the belief? You know, what belief is driving this behavior, or what beliefs appear to be in conflict? And whenever your thoughts pop up and say, I believe in this and I believe in that, say, well, is there evidence in my behavior for that belief? Or is the evidence conflicted or non-existent? You know, and to really challenge yourself, you know, I kind of, I'll balance the scales a little bit, offer a olive branch here. So for the religious person who believes in God's plan, why do you put on a seatbelt? What's your real belief if you're putting on a seatbelt? And for the atheist who has any sense that there is a reason to live, a plan. For the atheist who claims there is no God, but when life goes really bad, he can't help but look up and go, why? Who are you looking at? What is the purpose of that behavior? Whenever I get, I consider myself to be an atheist. My belief I tell myself I have is that I don't believe in a higher power or a consciousness of the universe or anything like that, really. Well, it's not that I don't believe it, it's just I don't feel that any compelling evidence has been put forward to make me believe it, just like there's no evidence for Santa Claus or fairies or even aliens. I haven't seen anything to say, yeah, well, I guess I should believe that. That's the story I tell myself. But when I have a really bad week and it just seems like wave after wave of bad luck is coming at me, I occasionally look up. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know why up is the direction. But sometimes I look up, you know, if I've had a lot of, like a string of sort of unpleasant incidents happen to me and a story in my head comes up saying this is unfair, I look up and go, really? Really? Who am I talking to? I know I'm not talking to myself. That's an externally projected expression. I'm talking to something or someone else when I have those moments. So I tell myself I don't believe in any higher power, and yet you catch me in an extreme moment, and I seem to be reaching out for one. So what do I really believe? I just want to throw this out there because I know, a lot of us here, especially us Brojo members, are ultimately trying to figure out who we are. And in order to do that, you first have to be honest with yourself about what your beliefs most likely are. And the way to figure that out is to watch what you do. And let go of what you hope it means and look at the most likely logical, reasonable, rational explanation for that behavior. That's how you figure out who you are. At least I think it is. Thanks so much for listening. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please subscribe and share this around. Help us build up our audience and get the message out there. And of course, if any of you want to talk about this kind of stuff further, you want some support with it, get in touch, dan@brojo.org. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.